Freedom Island. I did my blog entry for today, and then I decided that I should go back and listen to what I recorded, because part of my plan is to get this good evidence and turn it in. And if people can't understand what I'm saying, or if I said something wrong, or got confused or was contradicting myself or whatever, I wouldn't be doing myself no favors. So I decided I should listen a little bit and just make sure it sounds all right, kind of hit the high points. It's not supposed to be no great novel or anything like that, but just supposed to be what I was thinking, what I saw, what happened, and so on. So when I set it up to listen today, I could hear this sound in the background. It sounded like I had some kind of insane ambition to be a hip-hop superstar, or maybe I was standing outside of a dance club. But what it is the person that either lives in the house next to Vivian's house where I'm staying, or they might be a squatter, or I don't know what's going on over there, but there's been a truck that comes over, parks in the driveway, and somebody that's got a hoodie on and a dark jacket and dark pants, dark shoes. You can't see nothing about them. They just go in the house. And then when I get up in the morning, they're gone again. But today, they've come home, if it is their home, and their truck has that boom car thing. You know, it goes hum, 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 hum with their dance music, you know, and it shakes the whole house a little bit, makes the glass rattle in the windows a little bit, and I can feel it coming up to my feet and stuff. I usually don't care. I'm from the southeast side of Indianapolis, and if you think that's all quiet and peaceful, well, it's not. But today, they've left that truck playing the music. They didn't turn the ignition off, and they went in the house, and I don't know which thing is going to happen first. If somebody's going to steal that truck, if it's going to run out of gas, maybe it's locked and has the keys in it. Maybe they didn't have no way to call somebody to come unlock it. Maybe they were high and they didn't realize they didn't turn their truck off. Maybe they had some kind of a medical event in the house. I'm not sure. And I wonder how long it's going to go on. But it's been playing music, bump, 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 bump. And I've got the windows and the doors shut, but it's kind of just vibrating the whole house. And I did hear it while I was recording today, but I didn't think it would come through the walls of the house so much and get on the recording, but it has. And I guess this is not the most legitimate way to prove that I am collecting and gathering and assessing good information while I'm sounding like I've got a party going on in the next room. But there's nothing I can do about it. We're not in the situation to go over and speak to them or ask them to turn off or anything like that. That's just not a realistic option for us. So I'm just going to have to leave it on there. All right, well, here we go with what I put together earlier today. Boom, boom, and thump, thump, and dance, dance. I don't know if I would have said yes if Lauren had asked me, could she put something on my phone so she'd know where I was? I wouldn't want her to, because see, what she didn't think about, and this is why I'm mad, is when I talked to her very brief on the phone, I went and used a payphone. There is a payphone. Did you know that you can still find a payphone? You can. It's inside the store. You don't find them out on the street anymore like they used to, but there's a few places you can go inside. You can use a swipe card now and pay. So I used that. And I didn't use my debit card. I used a pay, like a gift card. Like you can buy a gift card and put money on it, so that way they can't know where the phone call came from or anything. I don't know how all that works, but so I called her phone because I didn't know what else to do to find out what my brother and Boyce was doing except talk to Lauren and see did she know anything. And I didn't want to tell her where I was at, but I knew she already knew from this. Well, I didn't know let me back up. I didn't know she was the one that put the tracker on there, but I figured my brother knew, and I figured if my brother knew, he's a loudmouth and a talk to himself and bitch and moan kind of person. So I figured whatever my brother was doing, he would probably complain and bitching and moaning and carrying on and castigating and whatnot, and Lauren would hear him and know that he knew where I was at. So that's what I was trying to find out when I called her. I knew something was up because she was acting like she didn't know what application was, and she kept asking me where I was at, and I kept saying, I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is, does my brother know where I'm at? She was doing what Lauren does when she don't want to tell you things. And I said, I have only got so much money, Lauren, on this pay card that I'm using on this phone call. And it's going to run out. So deal with your feelings and whatever's going on in your mind later on, not on my paid time. Tell me what is happening. And then she admitted she was the one that put it on. She's crying. And I said, I understand you're upset, but you have to hear I'm upset. Do you ever think about how if you have that on your phone, Lauren, and he gets hold of it? And she said, well, I have my phone with me all the time. And I said, you know how sneaky he is? I've told you stories about him sneaking around when we was kids and stuff like that. He's sneaky, and you know it. And some of these people that Boyce, and she said, well, he's not like Boyce. And I said, let's talk about that another time. But you know that group of people, there ain't nothing they wouldn't do because they feel like they got this grand truth that's more than the law. They don't believe in the law no more. They don't believe in government. They believe in the deep state and all that stuff. Ain't no law, no rule that applies to them because they have got a secret, magical, blinking understanding that has been granted only to them and like the Old Testament prophets, you know? So I need to be safe. So she said no, he hadn't got her phone. She had not been without her phone for 1 second. And I thought, well, I hope that's true. I haven't had nothing happen to me. I think if my brother knew, he would have come up to try and get me. Like, I think he would have come to Detroit and tried to stop me. And he didn't, even though I heard noises. It wasn't him, it wasn't Boyce. It was, you know, the wind and my nerves and everything. So, I'm mad at Lauren. I'll talk to her again sometime. I told her I didn't have any more money to put on my card, but I got my card filled up again, but I'm not using it to call her till she can get her story straight, be more direct and more honest with me about what's going on, because it's important. Me personally, I need to be safe, because of course I want to live a long time, who doesn't? But also, what will be the use of me doing all this hard work and all this crazy, where I came all the way up here to Detroit and got in this house and sharing a house with some man I barely know, places where they bash in your door with the back wheel of a motorcycle backing into it. You know, this is where I'm living now. You know, not too far from the work release center where my crazy uncle and his crazy friends is going to set up their magical Freedom Island where they make a new world of white people. Is that not enough to struggle with? Like, that is such a hard thing to do, to come up here and do all this. And then I don't want to be endangered having done all the hardest parts. Like, I think getting the information about what's going on with Boyce and them isn't going to be as hard as it was getting up here, because they want the world to know it ain't no secret to them. You know, they're not scared of nothing. They think they're got enough guns to overcome the government and the FBI, you know. They think they're stronger than everybody that's in the U.S. government. They think everybody in the military is on their side and stuff like that. They're not all that scared of rules, and they're going to be more and more direct. Of course, they got to recruit. They got to get people on their side to get all their supplies, or I don't even know what they're trying to do, but whatever they're doing, you can't do it with nothing. You know, they got to have vehicles, or they got to have electronics, or they got to have bomb things, or chemistry, or whatever they're going to do. And then they got to get people to help them distribute it and tell everybody about it. You know, it's like Amway, only like the whole destruction of the whole country of America. So they're going to be not hiding it as much, I think, when Boyce gets out. I'm not saying it will be risk-free to try to find out what they're doing. But what I've been through, I think, is the hardest part of it, really, as far as competent in getting it done. It was pretty hard. So now I'm here. I want to do the thing. I want to figure out how they get hold of each other, if there's people that's the main deciders, whether they tell their information online or text, or I don't know. Maybe they use like them Bitcoins and Venmo and things like that to get their money going. And as much as I can find out, if I could just find even one or two things that was definite proof, like if I could find something that they say, like a text or a email, well, I don't know if they use an email, but something, a phone thing or something, somebody talking or something, where they're saying they're going to go shoot up someplace, and then say what kind of bullets they're going to use or how they're going to do it. And then if I could get something where they're trading for their ammunition, or they are trying to go places or get people to go buy that kind of ammunition and put it somewhere, that wouldn't be no total proof, but it would be a place for the people that know how to really find crime. I don't know nothing about it except for just watching like CSI on TV and stuff like that. I don't know how to find out any of this stuff. But if I could get even one or two little things, then I could find somebody that knows more and say, here's this one little thing I know and here's this other little thing I know. Is that enough where somebody would take it serious and try to find out? Or do I have to have twice as much as that, or 10 times as much as that? Or do I got to have a video? Or what do I got to have that's proof? And just thinking about it makes me kind of overwhelmed. I was just talking about how easy it was going to be, and now it sounds a little bit overwhelming because I'm kind of scared that no matter how much I get, won't nobody take me seriously because of who I am, how I talk, where I'm from. Maybe I could give it to somebody else that they would take serious. And you know what? Now that I say that, that means another thing I got to do, right? Because I got to try to find somebody. It ain't going to be Vivian because she don't want nothing to do with trouble whatsoever. It's nice of her to let me stay in this house. That's as much as I can ask from her. Ivandro's not got paperwork, and he don't speak English as a first language, and he's a brown person, so no, not him. I'm going to have to buddy up with somebody while I'm here and then work my way around to say, by the way, I am making my own independent investigation of domestic terrorists, and would you like to help me? That seems like a lot to think of if you're going to like a Starbucks or a Burger King and, just look and see if somebody looks like they're a patriotic person, but not in a scary way. I don't know. First thing, I don't got nothing to show anybody, so I don't have to worry about who would I show it to, because the first thing I got to have is I got to have something to show somebody. I need Lauren to not mess this up for me until I can get some stuff together. But at the same time, I'm going to tell her that I want her to be my guardian of the information. I think she's learned her lesson. I could tell when I was talking to her and she's crying and stuff. She wasn't just crying because she was upset because I was mad at her. She could see what I was saying. She hadn't even thought for a second about how she had just decided what she was doing was safe and didn't ask me whether I thought it was safe, because I do not think it was safe. So I think she understands, since I'm the one that's got the scary things happening. If she wants to help me do this good thing, I think she has come around to where she understands that I'm the one that says whether something's too dangerous for me or not, and that she's to do it as I tell her to do it and the way I tell her to do it, not because I'm so bossy, not because I'm a big shot, but because I'm the one that the bad thing happens to. My brother's always going to look out for her, but would he throw me under the bus? I can't tell. You can't tell with your own family. I wish I could feel better about my brother. I wish I didn't feel like I do. But it could be that this thing has took hold of his mind and turned him around so bad that he would turn me over to the bad people. thinking he's doing a good thing and being a good brother, keeping me from doing what he thinks is a bad thing, and he thinks that he's the dad now of the family, so that's his job. Which my dad was not like that. Daddy was not thinking, once you were age of majority and, could shoot a rifle and drink a beer and vote for whoever you wanted to vote for and drive a truck and stuff, he didn't think it was his business, Daddy didn't, to determine what kind of a person. That was up to you as to what choice you were making and then what was going to happen to you from your choice. He felt like that was all up to you. But my brother has got, like I was saying, this funny idea about going from being a brother to a father. Not in a good way, not a real dad, but some kind of crazy dad that's like kind of like a WWE wrestler. What's that guy, The Rock? Which I think he's nice, but somebody that looks like The Rock and punches people like The Rock, but also kind of like Dirty Harry and also like, I don't know, Donald Trump or something, and the dad on some TV show, and I put all those things together. I think my brother's confused in his mind, which wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so scary for me, but that's how it is. So Lauren's under his wing, but I'm not under my brother's wing. I'm not safe from him. He might be the very one that pecks me to death, thinking he's a bald-headed eagle of truth. All he is bald-headed. And that one very nice either. Boy, I tell you, I'm not my best self today. There's no need to be talking about hair or no hair. I think I probably ought to quit recording on this now if I'm going to start talking about people's looks and stuff like that. See, that's the very thing I just got done saying about Lauren, is you can't be like the person you're trying not to be, and that's what they're like. Carrying on about somebody's appearance or their skin color or their accent or where they were born at or what their religion is or whatever, instead of what kind of person they are. And now here's me doing kind of like a light version of being that, and I don't want to be that. I didn't know I had so many feelings about all this, but I do. And I feel relieved to know Uncle Boyce ain't on the trail right behind me, but I also feel scared that some dumb thing that somebody did made me be scared for 2 weeks, and I want to forgive and forget, but it's going to take me a week or two till I get around to talk to her again about the plan going forward. I ain't ready to do that yet. I haven't heard Evandro come up, obviously, but the other thing about cutting this off here is that it'd probably make him feel bad if he thought I was working on something or talking or something on the phone or whatever he thinks I'm doing, and then I cut off real quick when he would come up. Then he would know I was trying to keep a secret. And I am kinda, but not because he's a bad person. It's just I don't know him yet, but he might not understand that, so maybe I should wind it up anyways. The other thing is, now that I think about it, I said I would make us a little pizza. We got a pizza shell thing, and we got some vegetables and stuff and some pepperonis in the refrigerator, and they're starting to go. Nothing's going bad yet, but it's going to go that way. We both said we would just pile that all up and throw some cheese on there and cook it and call it a pizza, so I better go attend to that anyways.